You love doing that.
I do. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Mixtape Talk. I am your co-host, Jason. I'm here with my two beautiful co-hosts,
Marissa
and Stormi.
What's your last name, though?
Almendarez.
Okay.
Stormi Knight.
Stormi Knight. Hyphenated.
Oh, are we gonna talk about that today?
No.
This is the day we're having.
It's a day, dude.
This is the day we're having.
Cut
All
that
right.
out.
Being a retrograde.
Anyways, if you guys don't know, this is Mercury retrograde month, week, whatever. This is the first time, you guys, that we have all actually been together. This podcast thought has been going on for months.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of us actually sitting down and actually talking out the specifics. But even then, when we had it going, Stormi was traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Marissa
I was traveling.
is with baby.
is
with child.
And still trying to travel a lot.
Yeah, and I'm just here. So
Jason's a dedicated one. He's been here every single episode.
I see the potential in us.
Yes.
That's why.
We love that.
So this is the first time we actually all get to sit down together and actually do a podcast. And I know we all have been getting a lot of questions about why we've done a podcast, especially with all of our different backgrounds and our different audiences that follow us. So I thought, you know what? Why don't we just do an episode where we sit down, we dive into Stormi's DMs.
I'm so intrigued by that.
I am too. And then we'll just answer some questions that we've been getting on Instagram. So I guess the best way to start it off is just kind of how we met. We met Stormi. When I say we, Marissa and I met Stormi back in
The grand opening, right? August 2019?
No, not even the grand opening. It was when we had the Power 106.
Yeah.
It's when we had the Power 106.
2020? Was Power 106?
COVID didn't allow that. When was that?
When was the Power 106 event? I feel like Power 106 event was after COVID.
Yeah.
It was after COVID because we were kind of sketched out like we were going to do it. It was like our first event back after COVID. COVID messed us all up. COVID,
So anyways,
like timeline, we don't even know what happened.
Anyways, we met
But
Stormi.
I met Marissa in 2019 because I was filming content.
Yes. So she came to Westco and I was like, who is this girl all fit and shit? And
She had the braids too. Huh?
Yeah.
That braids just make it look so fierce.
Like she walks in like a boss, like super just like, I'm here to work. I'm like, all right, girl, you can use the whole gym. I'll be here if you need me for sure.
I mean, for us, we followed you prior to that, so we kind of knew a little bit about you. But the first time we actually met you and talked to you was at that event, and then we kind of just linked up from there. And you lived in our area from both of our gyms, so that's kind of how we just all started networking and talking together. Then, obviously, we were partnered with First Form, so we did a lot of stuff together.
That's right. And also, how I knew about you guys was Dean. He was like, "You guys, you have to meet Jason and Marissa. They developed such a culture at their gym. It's like nothing like anything else you've ever experienced."
Love that.
And so that was something that propelled me to really want to meet you guys and then just keep showing up at your events.
Nice. Shout out to Dean.
Yeah. Dean, we love you. You don't get noticed enough. We love you. Appreciate you.
Shout out to Dean. But yeah, guys, it's been a journey. I'm not crying. I just have something in my throat.
I was like, we're getting emotional.
It's been a journey, but like here we are. We're about, by the time you guys listen to this, we'll probably be like about 2 months in.
Yeah.
We have guests flowing in. We've been super consistent.
You guys have been super, super receptive to us and supporting us, and we're so appreciative of that too.
Definitely thankful.
Yeah. I mean, we have a really good audience, and I think we try to have, again, the reason why we call it mixtape, you guys, and for those of you guys that didn't have CDs, that's how you know how old I am. I had CDs.
I had a CD too.
And back in the day, you would have your mixtape when you would travel somewhere, and you would have R. Kelly on there. Then you would have some Lil Wayne.
I bring him up.
Hey, I don't care what anyone says. I still fuck with R. Kelly.
You can't.
Peeing on anyone, I don't care. Those songs still.
Oh my God, this conversation goes so far. Okay, let's move on.
Those R. Kelly songs, and right now, people are like, yeah, he's right. You just don't want to say it. Anyways, mixtape to us, you guys, has always been something, like when we talked, has always been something where we wanted to take the podcast space, but have multiple guests on, not just your regular fitness people, not just your regular entrepreneur. We wanted people that have like stories that actually motivated us and kind of pushed us. So for those of you guys that are always asking, that's the number one thing I get asked is why we call it mixtape. And I think it goes back to our days of just having that one CD that covered everything. That favorite track, right? Everyone was a banger. So we hope that you guys listen to this, and every podcast we drop is going to be a little something different. right? We're not going to stick to any genre. We're just kind of go with what we feel. This is like a passion project for us.
100%.
So for those of you guys listening, we make zero money and $0 off of this. We commit our days once a week, every Friday.
Yep.
We drive our asses in here. We schedule guests.
That's right.
Thank
We
you, Ethan,
pay
for being here.
Yeah, Ethan, the guy behind the camera. We pay him out of our own pockets.
Yep.
That's right.
Because we believe in the vision of just sharing stories, how impactful people's stories can be if you hear the right one and you resonate with it.
What I think, especially all of us, like we're in the people business, right? We always say that. So we hear so many stories one-on-one. And once you start to connect with somebody, you realize like people have gone through so many things that you wouldn't even like face value.
Yeah.
You would like, damn, you went through that. So I think us being able to share just some of the intimate conversations we've had one-offs with has been great for
Oh yeah,
sharing.
definitely. And go ahead.
And I was going to say, you guys, the fee for us is if you guys found value in this podcast or the episode, we recommend that you share it, keep sharing it, keep sharing the link, subscribe. And that's how we're going to put ourselves out there with sharing other people's stories and just bringing value to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, and you guys have already been doing an awesome job. Little by little, every time we look at the analytics, they keep going up. So obviously what we're doing is paying off and you guys are actually getting some value from it. But like Stormi said, we're not asking you guys for anything other than just to share it with somebody. Maybe one guest we have really hits home for you and you feel like it will hit home for somebody else. So share that. But I mean, that's the biggest question is why we call it. So you guys kind of understand now. You guys kind of know how we met. For us, Marissa and I have been working together for 10 years.
Yeah, I think we're on a decade now.
So like this is the first time we let somebody else into our circle.
I know, I feel honored. I really do, because you guys don't even know this, but like I just met them, especially with Marissa. We started a mixtape social event.
Yeah.
And so that's the women empowerment event. And her and I, we didn't even know each other.
Yeah, we're like, oh, but we'll figure this out.
Yeah,
Make it happen.
we just winged it, and I know that Marissa is such a great person, and I just want to work hard to bring that, and just that's what we decide to do. And in lieu of this, it's just bringing people together and just working hard to provide you guys with value, really.
100%.
Yeah, you guys, and our bigger picture for those of you guys that have asked this question as well is mixtape talks and the mixtape social. That's the same thing. We're bringing them together.
Yep.
The whole point of this is to not only reach people through audio, and obviously we have the YouTube, but to throw mixers, to throw events to help empower people. So the first one, the women's one that you guys did, was a huge success.
Yep.
Huge success. I mean, how do you guys feel coming off of that? I know
Cloud9.
Cloud9, right?
Yeah.
Sure. It was definitely a moment. Like, I know we were both, I mean, personally, I stress before every single event. And people are like, why do you do events? Because low key, I love stressing over something and then seeing like the end product and being like, damn, like we did that. Like, okay, this is what it's all about, you know? And I think having that just one-on-one connection again, being in person after all the bullshit of COVID, like, and having 40 women together, brainstorming, not like no competition, just literally bouncing off business ideas, hearing stories, like that fuels my fire for sure. And I feel this is just giving a platform to those people who are hard workers, entrepreneurs, or just, want to get out of their daily routine. It just sparks a little conversation for them.
I love that. And the fact that all the women there felt like they were being heard. When we left, there's quite a few ladies that actually stayed until after we finished cleaning up. They like cried. They're just talking about even more things. And to see them cry and then to see them feel charged up from our event, I was like, wow, we did something.
Yep.
And I think that's what made me more emotional, where women like, I finally felt like I was heard. You guys gave me that. I can't wait for the next one because I'm going to bring my daughter. I'm going to bring my best friend. I can't wait. I want to feel that feeling again. And so that's something that made me emotional after the whole event.
Yeah, no, I was watching it on social media. I was watching it.
I was waiting for you to come in with your wig.
The
And
stories.
just go on the-
Trust me, guys, I was so close to
one
coming
dude that was
in.
sitting there.
I was so close to coming in, but I said, Marissa will be so mad if she sees my ass walking this thing.
I probably would have been like,
Typical Jason.
and back to the panel.
And that's a wrap, you guys. No, but on the outside, I was peeking in through people's stories, and there were so many people there that I was impressed. I mean, I was impressed just by how well you guys organized that. And how well everything, I mean, I'm pretty sure it wasn't smooth, but it looked really smooth on Instagram.
At the end of the day, that's all that matters. All that matters, for sure.
I mean, the guests you guys had they all had awesome stories.
Topic,
and I know we've had the Lisa Fit owners on here. So I could imagine that episode, right? If you guys haven't, go back and listen to that episode with them. Just every single individual you had in there
and
had
even
an awesome
Melissa,
story.
I saw Melissa showed up to our event, and then the day after she like broke her foot or like sprained her foot. I was like, how did you like walk into our event like a boss? And then the next day she's like hopping to get to
She's in show
the
business.
radio. I know. She's
That-
like, this is what I do.
If you know
I'm
Melissa,
fine.
Melissa Reels, she's all business.
Yeah.
She'd go in there with a
Professional.
broken leg and she'd still make it poppin'. But yeah, so there you guys asked. Our goal is to continue to do not just only podcasting, but to do events. The next one we're planning is we don't have a specific date, but I know we're going to do it in this year, 2021.
2022.
2022. God, jeez.
Dang, where you at,
2022.
bro?
I'm still recovering from COVID. Like literally.
Yeah, I'm
like
hoping
literally.
in September. I
Yes,
really want
I'm working on
to
that.
bang out at an event before I pop out a baby. So
Yeah.
Like-
But this one will be a little different. We are going to involve the guys in there.
yes,
Yeah.
the guys were so jealous that
They were. I got so many messages like, "Hey, we want to buy our tickets. We want to attend. When's your next one?" So I think we're gonna do.
Yeah, they were coming at me I said, you try talking to Stormi and Marissa about that. I'm not trying to get punched.
Yeah, no, but it was good.
This vision that we have includes everybody. It's just we really wanted to take time to recognize the entrepreneur women that we have.
Yep.
Right. And again, I have a daughter, so I kind of love seeing you guys lead the way. I want her to look back and see that women can do whatever they want to do. And it sounds so weird saying because we already know that. I mean,
Yeah.
like even you as being my business partner, I value you so much and I already know like there's nothing I can't put on your plate that you can't do. So it feels weird saying that out loud, but I guess it is a thing. But
I feel like we have a good support system. A lot of women don't have that support
Right.
system,
That's
so
so
they,
true.
they needed that validation from an outside source.
yeah,
So
and,
For sure.
and you guys definitely provided that. So we'll definitely be doing more.
yes.
So those of you guys that are asking, and especially the guys, I think this one's going to be a little higher end though. I think
yeah.
we're going to do a
Yeah.
little bit dressier.
Yes.
I want it to be like a gala,
Oh,
A gala?
Oscars. Hey, come on.
Oh wow.
Just gives me an excuse to go buy some more clothes, really. But
He's like,
probably have more clothes than us.
I'm not going to
like,
deny
there
that
will
at
be
all.
a fashion show, and it'll be
Dude,
walking
I
up
low
and
key
down.
want this to be like a ball. Like people
Watch,
come
We'll
out.
have a corner just for you so you can take all your pictures.
Don't go over there. That's where I
We're
take my
not
pictures.
joking. We're
No,
not
yeah.
joking. This is 100.
Hey. Okay, let's get to Stormi now. No. But no, we're excited, you guys, to just continue to bring value. I know moving forward, we'll get these podcasts out sooner. We'll make sure when we have a guest, we're going to get them out, trying to get them out within a week. You guys, I've learned so much just
Yeah,
doing this
so
podcast.
We're winging it.
We're
And
honestly
we
winging
realized
it.
we knew nothing. Like coming into here, we had an
Zero.
idea. We're like, oh, you're just gonna need some lights, some mics, a cool graphic. And we're like, wait, no. There's
Remember
like,
originally when we're like, oh, we're going to shoot it inside our gym.
that would have been a
Oh
shit show.
my God, that would have been a disaster.
Yeah.
So, like Stormi said, I have no shame in my game. We are winging this every single episode. Just recently, the
audio didn't work.
audio didn't work,
Right before this episode.
but we got that fixed, you guys. And I think all of us are where we're at because we just start doing and we'll figure it out as we go.
Yes.
One thing I love about us is we've never made any excuse. We've always like, okay, it's an offset to everything.
Yep.
So it's just like us figuring out or us having things in rotation to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. Just show up.
Yeah,
Show up.
that's
and
it.
we'll
I mean, that's
figure
the
it
best thing. Thug it out, show up, you'll figure it out. And if you
Stormi
do,
will smoke her little blunt.
yeah,
I was about to say.
Stormi will smoke. We're gonna have an episode with just
He's
Stormi.
gonna take a shot. Marissa.
You guys can start bringing me food, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
Just
we'll do
feed
that.
the baby.
Feed the baby. But no, I mean, we're excited. So, I mean, this episode, you guys, we want you guys to get to know us a little bit more. So, you guys know our background now as far as how we met. So, for me, I feel like Stormi, you're the biggest star here.
Yes.
Let's be real. Stormi's the biggest star. Most people, when Stormi posts something, it goes crazy. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I
We are totally down with
Oh, yeah.
riding the stormy wave. I'm cool with that.
so those of you guys that really, and I think the more podcasts you do, the more people will start to get to know your personality.
Yeah.
Because when you first meet you, well, when I first met you, I was intimidated because, my first thing is when I meet someone, I try to make them laugh and somehow, or just kind of break the ice. And you were not having
Zero.
any of it. And I was like, okay, it's time to move on.
My charm is not gonna
Yeah,
work here.
but the more we met, I understood that you just have your guard up until
Yeah.
you feel that you're comfortable with somebody.
Yes, definitely.
So even now, when you do podcasts, I mean, you've had a couple episodes, and I've seen you bring your guard down. So I think a lot of people listening are going to be like, "Oh man, this is
Yeah.
a different side of
Different
Stormi."
side.
And you guys haven't even scratched the surface. And we're gonna see how deep we get. We're gonna see how deep we
Lord.
get with Stormi. But today, she had her DMs open, and I just kind of want to touch because I'm always interested and I call them IG influencers, but you guys that are in the
You say
200,000
content
content creators
I like that word
Content
better.
creators.
that are like in the 200,000s to 1 million followers,
Yeah.
the kind of DMs you get. Because I get crazy ones, but never anything like you. So we're going to call this segment diving into Stormi's DMs.
Yes.
So this isn't that weird to me, but I guess it is to some of you. You get requests for pictures of your feet
All day.
all day.
Yes, pictures of my feet.
And you've never done it.
No, I've never done it. And the highest offer I've ever gotten was $10,000 for one photo.
And why haven't you done it?
I just can't do that.
On.
I know. It sounds tempting,
Bro, I'm going to take you to
but
the
I
pool
can't.
and I'm just going to take a picture and be like, I'm selling.
Dude,
He'll give you like
a lot
a
of
30
people
second
do that, but for me, I feel like it's going to come back to me somehow, some way.
But your face isn't attached to the like,
Yeah, I always wondered
you
that.
could do that secretly.
I mean, low key, you can, and I could just like take care of a lot of shit. But I mean, I can't. I'm like,
She's so honest, she won't even fake out a weird Instagram follower.
oh hell no. But you know what? I'm so nervous that like literally will come back to me, or somebody will use that against me, because someone down the line will always find out.
Yeah, that's true.
And they will always use it against you. It's like a blackmail type thing.
But is
And-
that
Is
like
that a blackmail though? Like,
no? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I was gonna ask. Is like you know, because we talked about you potentially or not. You know, the possibility of maybe someday you having OnlyFans, and not OnlyFans in the sense chill guys, because I know people
yeah,
are like
they'd be like, "Ooh,
Stormi."
sign
Yeah,
up."
we're talking about you know, OnlyFans. I think got a bad rep during COVID because there was people selling nudes and stuff like that. But I know a lot of women and men that do OnlyFans and they just sell regular, you know, pictures of themselves and people buy them. But I feel like it got a bad name.
It did. It really did.
Right?
Because in the beginning, it actually belonged to video gamers.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, originally.
Twitch, right? Was it Twitch that they used to do it on, or am I
They
wrong?
used to do it on Twitch too, but OnlyFans used to be just watching people play video games.
Which
'Cause-
I still think is crazy that people watch.
No, there's a market for everything.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but I like.
and then
that's-
people are commenting, you know, like stuff like
Yeah.
that. People want to see that and you're eating or whatever. So it started originally from that. And then somehow like Instagram people and celebrities picked it up, just showing nudes. And then that's how it skyrocketed. And so for me, I was like, I highly contemplated it only to do fitness. But then I'm just like, when I'm talking to other companies or trying to work with them, like, you don't have OnlyFans, do you?
Oh,
And I
so
think
that
Oh,
looks
okay.
bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to- okay.
That's,
So other
that's the only
companies do
thing
that.
that's kind of stopping me. Low key, I will really do it, but on the pretenses of like just fitness or BTSs of my photo shoots, different
Yeah.
things like that.
Or feet pics.
Maybe feet. pics. Show them a big toe.
You're like-
My big toe. Don't tempt me with a good time.
and if you guys don't know, Jason is.
Yeah, I mean, I like feet. Dude.
Yeah,
I met my wife, and the first thing I fell in love with was
Yo,
her
that
feet.
makes so much sense why you would ask that shit.
Yeah, I mean, are you just finding this out now?
Yeah, no, Jason's
God,
definitely the feet guy.
We're breaking barriers right here, you guys.
Oh, that makes
listen.
sense.
This is how you know Stormi's new
No,
right now.
I'm not.
Just figuring out.
I'm not
the
weird.
thing.
There's a whole market for people selling feet. So if you
still
have
weird.
if you think I'm
It's a
weird,
preference.
dude, yeah.
preference.
The first thing, I mean, obviously my wife is beautiful, and then we went out and she knew that I like feet. And then I remember she came up with some lie that someone spilled something on her feet, but she had a fresh pedicure and she knew that was going to lure me in.
That
And
sealed a good
17 years later or whatever it is, I still go, "Damn, you have
So,
the sexiest
so
feet."
what's a good foot to you? Like a
Oh, Stormi, do you want to go down this road?
deal. Yes.
If you have
Let's-
children in the room, please tune out.
Oh
No,
my god.
I think
What classifies a good foot?
wait,
it's-
and
it's
then are you
weird.
also attracted to men's feet as well? I just
no,
gotta know.
no men's feet.
But
No
do
men's
you
feet.
take care of your feet?
Yes, I do.
Like, do you get pedicures?
I'll go on there. I'll get pedicures too. But for me, like, I don't really care about. Like, I don't go. Oh God, that guy has some nice feet. I don't.
But what if
Even if they do have nice feet, because there's been guys that have nice feet, but I'm like, but if a girl has nice feet, bro, are you guys you really? It's a thing though.
It's just
Like,
the
I'm trying
passion
to process
behind-
it. 'cause,
Okay,
like,
so for me, the perfect foot is my wife's, but it's just the
Shout out to Felly Tam.
I'm not really. I don't discriminate. If you have a longer toe, I'm cool. It's just the way.
the longer middle toe.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. It's just the
sledgehammer.
pedicure has to be on point. The foot, I don't know. I have to see one.
Smooth, no callus.
Hey,
good
cue
pedicure.
up some feet pics.
We're gonna have Felly's foot right here.
Yeah, it's just-
and then we'll compare.
The way I always think of it is like if you look at a you know, a lot of times people wear shoes, right? So if you look at a girl's foot and they take care of their hands and feet, then you obviously know
Would you
that.
do a smash or pass with feet pictures?
Oh my God, please.
Oh my God,
You
okay.
should have like a tennis.
Bro,
Like that.
I mean, right now, if I follow you on Instagram and you posted a
He's
picture of yourself,
definitely done the
I've
zoom
zoomed
in
in.
on your toes for sure.
I'll have a trainer. I'll have a trainer be like, "Hey, Jay, I'm dating this girl." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Let me see your Instagram."
Literally,
You've seen it, right?
I've seen him do it.
And I
It's
go,
like,
I go. Well, let me see a picture of her. He's like, "All right, cool. Look at this one." He'll show me when she's like in this like bathing suit. I'm like, "Okay, pass." Oh, her feet are good, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll
He's like,
get-
her feet. I'm like, dude, she takes care of her toes.
Yo,
no, he's like,
Yeah.
forget the body. Go straight to the
Straight
feet.
to the feet.
straight to the
Straight to the feet. Yeah. I mean,
This is my first time
Really?
actually meeting someone like this,
Yeah.
except for when I was in a pool one time. The guy, he's like, "Can I massage your feet, please? Like, I need to. You have the most
Random?
prettiest feet." Yeah, I
Random
didn't even
person?
know this dude, and he was like, "I need to touch your feet." And I was like, "No." He was like, "Please, it's just the most beautiful feet, and they just need to be taken care of."
so like, does your boyfriend rub your feet or like I don't know, touch your feet at all? Do you feel weird with that or no?
I feel weird when he touches my feet.
Do you really? Do
I
you?
think that's probably what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
can't get into it. It's like something weird. He's like, "Let me touch your feet." I'm like, "Fuck no, get the fuck away from me."
Really?
You know
what
what I
about
mean?
you?
It's not like a. I mean, I put my feet on Gil all the time. Like,
Right? He doesn't touch them or?
Like it's just like it's more like a leg grab. You know, it's not like a.
I don't know. My wife must be weird because she never
You guys
said
are
no.
Perfectly weird.
Yeah,
together.
you guys are perfect together.
Yeah, because I have dated a girl before, and she put her feet on me, and I was like touching her feet, and she's like, "Oh, don't do it. I like my feet touched." I'm like, "Oh, this isn't gonna work. This relationship is already over." And then there was another girl I went on a date with, and I took her to go meet all my friends, and we were going out somewhere nice, and she did not get a pedicure. I was like, "Bro, you're going to meet my friends, and you're not gonna get a pedicure," and we stopped talking after that.
Dang.
I'm dead ass right now too.
Ruthless.
Yeah.
But everybody has their preference.
Yeah.
Do you have your preference?
I'm like I like a nice jawline. Like
See, that's not weird. Feet are weird, but jawline's not weird.
no. That's the thing.
Is it? Okay.
I like a nice back, and everybody have their teeth, and it has to be white.
Everybody has her teeth. I would hope that's a must for you, Stormi.
Teeth are a must. All of them.
Yes.
Intact.
Yeah, I mean, I like you getting DM pictures or DM requests for your feet. That's not weird to me. What's like the weirdest one you've gotten?
Yo, okay, let's like the sugar babies. You know, I showed you that DM earlier
The
today.
sugar baby.
But check this out. I get a lot of grandmas DMing me. Yeah.
Do you think they're actually grandmas, or do you think it's like a guy?
Sometimes I think it's a
Guy in Russia
but,
that's
but
like-
sometimes it's crazy because they'll have their whole family of that grandma, and I'm like, somebody get their granny, please.
Someone
because
go
like
get
she
your
on the
grandma.
Check her
yes,
out.
that's probably been the weirdest one. No,
She'd
no,
be
no,
on
no.
the
I take
loose.
that back. Time out. Straight up, this is a little team of mine. So if you get your kids in there, hide your kids.
Yeah.
Hide everybody. So one guy asked me to shit on his chest for $20,000. He's like, "Please, can you fly out here so you can shit on my chest?" And for $20,000. He was from Australia, some rich tycoon weirdo. Yeah.
Oh, so that's how you got your car.
She's like, so that shoot I did in Australia.
Yeah, exactly right.
Isn't that crazy?
That's weird.
No, but
we all agree that.
no,
that's
I mean, it just no. I'm just kidding. That's
No
weird.
fucking shit
That's
on
weird.
your
That's
chest.
weird.
Nobody watches those kind of pornos.
I mean, how do you trying to grow here? I mean, that's intimate, right? Like a nice hot shit in your chest.
Bro.
I'm just kidding.
It was like real bad, and I was just like, I was so disturbed. And then after that, like I got some DMs from women, which really throws me off. When I get DMs from women, they're like, "Oh, can I tickle you? Can I tickle you under your armpits or in your feet and things like that, or between your thighs?" I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where are these weirdos coming from?
Yeah,
Sometimes
isn't
I
that
think it's a
crazy?
joke, and I'm like, but they'll be persistent, come back again and hit me up. I'm like, all right, this is a true story. It's a real thing. Yeah.
Do you ever just ignore?
Oh yeah, I ignore everybody
okay,
because
okay.
I never ever want to like.
Do you ever hey, I'm gonna have some fun today. Like,
Yeah.
fuck around with some people.
I'd be like, well, what kind of shit? Like, you want me to have like Mexican food shit, or like, do you want like
Right?
a
but
chicken and rice
Sable,
type shit?
Sable, he'll be the one. He'll answer some of the DMs because I'm like, I ain't got time for this.
Yeah.
But Sable, my guy, he'll definitely entertain them. He's like, oh, let me answer, and he'll have some fun with it, and it just goes way south. So it's like,
He's
oh,
like, that's also
yeah,
2 seconds.
because they'll take it seriously, but obviously, like a lot of people. Of course, thinks it's me, but it's him that will respond to a lot of the DMs and stuff like that. Because I'll just let him do it. I'm like, oh no, it's been real bad. But the women scare me the most. And then when that person asked me to shit on their chest, I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
That's another level.
Yeah, that's another level of freaky shit.
But it's crazy what people are, I mean, sexually attracted to. And I had a client that used to break it down.
Yeah.
You know, she used to be like, well, it always stems from when you were younger, whatever something had stemmed from,
100%.
right? So like for me, like she used to break me down, and I like thicker women. I've always liked thicker feet. we already conquered. Well, she broke it down. My mom used to take me a lot to go get, like, when she used to get her nails done, and the smell of a nail salon, I love it. Like the acrylic,
Yeah.
I like that. And then I remember, like, my fondest memories are sitting on the floor, the kitchen or wherever my mom's cooking. So I was always like on the lower while she was doing her stuff, because she didn't have a babysitter, so she'll be working. Even when she worked, I would like hide.
So Mama Tam has good feet.
Bro, that's weird. Marissa.
Hey, but she makes a
Marissa.
good point though.
Hey, but
I mean,
Like if you're going based off
Yeah.
the therapist,
Yes.
what she's saying.
Well, she was saying
it's
is
a childhood memory.
She was just saying that's where you're most comfortable, Marissa. You were wrong for that question right there. Wait till we deep dive. But it always makes me wonder, like, people that are into like being shit on, or or tickled, or I've seen a Vice where people dress up in costumes.
Yeah.
And they like
Yo,
that.
what
Like
do you think about people like that?
I mean, to me,
But as grown people, not the kids.
no. I'm not talking about kids at all. I'm talking about, like, on Vice they have they call them fur babies or something like
Yeah,
that, and
yeah,
they go
yeah.
out. To me, everybody has whatever it is. It's just
Yeah.
you got to find. I don't think anything's wrong, other than obviously if you do some child shit, then there's no justifying that. But whatever your sexual vices are, I have no issue with it. It's now just your partner. Like if
There's
there's
gonna be someone out there for you
like
that has that.
there's some
same-
people listening, they're like, dude, you're so gross, your wife lets you touch her feet. There's some people that's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
She's used to me just like, come here, let me grab your feet. So, if someone wants to shit on the chest, there's a couple out there right now listening that are like,
That's like-
oh,
that's
that's a
it.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday. We
Normal
do
Saturday.
fucking Netflix and DoorDash, and then I shit on his chest. Like, that's a normal
yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Shout out to them. I mean, if that's what
And
you,
if that's you, please DM us.
and what you have to understand too is don't DM us. DM Marissa.
Yeah.
follow up. We can do a follow up.
Sorry, yo,
Bro,
we don't want your situation.
Yeah, that ain't making it on the podcast, Marissa. I'm sorry. But you guys have to realize, because I mean, you guys, Marissa's married. I've been married for a while. These are bridges you have to cross, right? Like if
You gotta keep it interesting.
you got to keep it interesting, and especially when you have kids, which
I'm still
Marissa,
on level 1, so
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not there
yeah. We
yet.
talked about, you guys. We talked about like relationships, being on levels. So like, I feel like the first level is when you're dating someone and maybe you live with them, right? I don't care if you said I've been with this person for 10 years. You're still on level 1,
Yeah, that's true.
right? When you get engaged, it does change. For me, I felt different being engaged than I was being the title of the boyfriend. And then when you get married, we passed the 5 year, which marriage, you guys, is a very difficult thing. I don't care how secure you guys are, and it has nothing to do with just like adultery or stuff like that. It's just you guys are
There's
still
so many
growing.
more levels.
There's so many more levels, as it should be when you get married. And then when you have kids, that's what I consider level 3. And in every one of those levels, we all need sex, right?
Yeah.
Male and female. So it's making sure that your partner, because you don't ever want them to go look for another source of it. So I feel like all those little weird things that you guys have, you have to be secure with your spouse in order to do that. If they want to try something new, you have to be secure with them to
try
do
it.
that, because ultimately, like, marriage is, you encompass everything.
Yep.
Right?
Is
There's
it hard
sexual-
for you guys, like juggling being entrepreneurs, having to run your business, having to take care of yourself, and have your own, individuality, really, and then being able to keep your family going? Is that difficult for you guys?
That's probably the most difficult thing, but every time you do it, you find where your kind of balance is.
Yeah.
So everything down to how much time I spend with my wife, to how much time I spend with my daughter, to how much time I spend at the gym. And I think I had a mentor one time that told me it's like the best analogy is like spinning plates. If you ever see like a circus where they spin plates, you spin this one, that one gets going, but the one at the end starts almost falling. You got to run over there and spin that plate. So it's just, I always envision the gym, my family, my wife, myself, all plates. And I'm trying to spin. So if I spend too much attention on this side, on this one plate, which is family, then this plate falls. So even like when I was doing the show, Marissa was the one spinning my business plate for me, because I had no energy to be at the gym. I was just so exhausted, and Marissa was taking care of him. That's where, partnership. I call her like my gym wife, because she takes care of everything from the gym, and we own Chino Hills together, so we're gonna be together
For a while.
for a while. Good thing we like each other, but no, I mean, the balance comes with doing it, just like anything.
Yeah.
Anything you do, like if you start a business, you just do it and then you figure it out. And it sounds so cliche, but it's really, I thought I knew everything about the fitness industry and how to run a business until I started doing it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure with you, can you think of the first time you ever got a sponsor? You're probably so stoked, and now you're like, I know my value.
Yeah.
I know what line I
Absolutely.
won't cross. I know what I will do, and I know what I represent now.
100%.
Right? But you would have never known unless you started doing it.
Exactly. I thought I had an idea or perspective, but like just leveling up, even with just first form, because I was with other people before, and it was just like nothing. But now I have my core values, integrity, all kind of stuff, which brings me back to the point where you're asking, like, why don't I do these things? It's just holding the integrity and making sure people constantly respect me and not having a reason to like, oh, not respect me in any regard. I know it's kind of fucked up. But it's like,
No, I mean, and to me on that, I feel like it is. I feel like
Yeah.
that's super fucked up. If you look at someone, you judge them because they have an OnlyFans. Like,
yeah.
like even when I meet people, you know, when you get to a certain age, and some of you guys that are older will know, when you meet people, you go to a casual party, the first thing they do, what do you do for a living?
I hate that.
I hate that question.
Right? I've learned to accept it, but automatically what they're saying is, should I value you
Yeah.
as a person?
Because they want
based
to
off
put a label
what
on
you
you.
do.
Exactly. So I always tell people, even to this day, even when I hire new trainers, just tell them I'm a trainer. So
Yeah.
when I hire a new trainer, like, oh, this is the owner. I go, no, I'm just a trainer here. So when I meet people, I go, oh, I'm a trainer. Oh, okay. And then you'll feel like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
he just a trainer. So I'm going to turn this switch off. And then it's not until maybe they found me on Instagram, and then, you know, even at my daughter's school, you'll walk in there. Those of you guys that don't know, I drive a 2014 Mazda with one hubcap missing. I don't know how that happened, but it
How are the
did.
windshield wipers right now? Are they good?
Windshield wipers are good. The windshield's still cracked though. But I don't give a fuck.
No.
Yeah.
Like, cause I understand where I'm trying to excel at. And for me, I never been a car guy, but automatically when I pull in, you know, you see like the G-Wagons, and more power to them if they could afford the lifestyle and do everything. I'm not shitting on that. I need to get there, but they automatically judge you by the car you drive,
Yep.
by what you wear, by what you do for a living. So like, I always tell people I'm the lowest because I just want to see how you treat me as a person, right? Like, what do you think of me just on our conversation, not on what I do? And you've seen people, oh, I'm the CEO of this company, so automatically people
Yeah.
are kissing their ass.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
But people take things for face value all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the kind of society we live in. And so I think with all three of us, we like to get to know the people or like dive in deep a little bit more. But how people are is just appearances. What you pulling up, people want to see that. So that way they're like, I want to respect you or not, or you're not even on my level, so I don't even want to fuck with you. You know, have you ever experienced that before?
I would say just more so, I think until now, I've always been the only female in the room. Like, as I started
Facts.
doing things with Jason, it's like, at first I was like, okay, it's kind of weird, but now I own it. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, I'm really the only female in here, you
That's
know?
right.
And I kind of have to like bullshit with them or just like, you know, pass things along. But I think that's the only thing. I've only experienced that. Or when I first started training, it was like, oh, you're too young. Or like, I've been like, somebody did not want to train with me because I was too young for that.
I low key, when I first met you, thought that.
Yeah.
I mean, we trained at a private facility, and I was a trainer there. And then I know they brought you on. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
She's a boot camp. Like, she doesn't know how to train.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like I saw you like take it so serious that I was like, oh shit, okay. And then that's even what sparked you just never wanted to stay still. You were like growing and growing and growing. And even when I decided to do self-made, I was like, oh, I need her. Like, that's the first thing I told you. Like, we were at the sushi. I'm like, oh, her work ethic is unmatched, better than mine. You know, so I'm like, I need someone like that. And I think people are embarrassed, or maybe they don't like to say that, but you do want someone that's a little better than you.
100%.
I don't ever want to be the smartest guy in the room, because I feel fucking
I
bad
think
for
that's
that.
why
room.
we work well together, because I already knew, like working with Marissa, I'm like, there's 1,000 things that she has that's better than me. And like, I know I can be a great asset to her in some regard to bring some value. So it's like, I felt like that, like
Oh,
yin and
yeah.
yang type.
But then that's also like the partnership, right? Like everyone has to hold their part. So I thank you guys both for, you know, finding value in me and what I do. But I feel like that's the reason why we're all meshing so well, because we all have equal value and we're all good at different areas. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I hate being the person that has to be in front of everybody and like get all people hyped up. Like you guys can hype and I will like work I'll be behind the scenes.
We have so
Yeah.
many conversations about that. I'm like, Marissa, I need you to be me. Like, just go out there and be hype.
like,
She said, Jay, I'm just not feeling it today.
I don't want to be you.
Yeah,
okay? Like it works because I'm me and you're
Yes.
you, and this is what's gonna happen. So yeah, but I do have to get a little better at that. But
No, but I mean, even in the beginning, like, I always knew, like, I know your worth. I've known your worth. I don't care if you're, I don't even care if you're a guy or girl. For being an entrepreneur, you're the shit. So, but I knew other people didn't look at you through the same lens that I do. So for me, her growth when we first started working together was I told her, you need to fucking be a boss. Like
Yeah.
when there's shit that goes down, they're going to come to me. I listen to whatever you say.
Yeah.
So when she would say, Jay, this isn't right, we shouldn't do this. They'd be like, hey, well, Jason, Marissa said this. I go, well, okay.
Yeah.
I go, she overrules me.
Yeah.
So I needed her to have that, and you took that by the horns.
And at least there was times I know I like fucked up and I probably did things that, or I said stuff like maybe he didn't agree with, but like no matter what, like he would still back me in front of whoever the person I had to talk to.
Right.
And then we would have that conversation like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have said that. Like,
yeah, but
you know.
that wasn't the
But that's
best.
good,
But,
though.
Yeah. But I mean,
really
so it still showed that as long as he respects me, like I know for a fact, like
Everybody
else will. So he like set the tone for that. And for me, that was really hard because I literally went to before I even committed, he had a workshop at the Rancho Self-Made, and he was like, "Oh yeah, trainers, this is what we're gonna do. You know, I'm opening up West Covina. Oh yeah, and then that's my lead right there, back in there, Marissa." And I was all, "This motherfucker, I did not commit to this. Yeah, she's been doing this for a long time. We're gonna open up West Co." And I'm all,
that's how you close people, baby. Hey,
I was all,
I painted the picture for her.
Yeah, for sure.
All you trainers out there, paint the picture for your client.
Yes.
Leave the door open for them, and it's just easy access. But I mean, I mean, even the conversation I had with you, I knew you were destined for more, you know, and that's kind of where.
And me personally, I needed that push because I've always been okay being behind the scenes, back end. Let me get everyone else to,
Right.
you know, succeed and grow and
Yeah.
accomplish their goals. So I needed that outside push to be like, hey, Marissa, you're more than just this private.
Oh, you're
studio.
multifaceted, for sure.
So I
Yeah.
appreciate
But you know, it's crazy. Even with First Form, I feel like you are the center of First. I know there's a lot of athletes, but every time I look on First Form, like I feel like you are, like you,
There
like
all
you're,
the
like I
time,
feel like you're
yeah.
their star. I mean, did you when you first got with First Form, or even in you know doing the modeling and the sponsorship, was it hard for you as a woman to kind of combat any kind of? Did you get any problems?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, and no one really said anything, but it was just a feeling that I would always get, where it's like a lot of people weren't for me. I appeared out of nowhere, and so people had so many questions for me, and they still do to this day. Like, what made you want to even join First Form? Like, what made you even consider all these things? And I think it's very interesting how I ended up on there, because I actually met the owner, Andy Frisilla, by accident at the W Hotel in Hollywood.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and it was at my sister's prom. My sister's prom was held there. I know.
Wow.
So
Man.
random.
These days, it was real crazy. So I was taking pictures of my sister. Sabo, he was like, that's Andy fucking Frisella. And he was like, look. And then I turned around and everybody's like looking at him in the room. He came out this Bentley, I think. And then he like walks up, and Sable's like, take a picture of me. And I still have this picture on my phone to this day. And this was 2017. And I didn't really recognize him. I knew that he had those podcasts, but he lost all that weight at that time. So he looked completely different. And I was just like taking pictures of him. I was just like this. And I knew at First Form, I've seen all the athletes. And I was like, one day I'm going to make it on there. And, you know, like I'm going to work real hard. I even remember going to a Fit Expo. And this one girl comes up to me asking me if I want to be a sponsored athlete for their company. I was like, no, I'm going to be an athlete for First Form.
Wow.
And then she was like, you'll never be an athlete on First Form. I didn't know this lady. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? She like literally told me this in my face. And I remember my little cousin was with me. He was like, that was weird. I was like,
What
I know.
company was? No, don't put him on blast.
I'm not gonna put anybody on blast, but yeah, it was like real crazy, because that's how much it meant to be on First Form,
Yeah.
to be a part of the athletes. Like, you had to be someone special to do it. And from my understanding, everybody that's been a part of First Form, like the OG, they've watched me struggle. So they watched my beginnings as a trainer. They watched me go from Bally's and just do the whole thing and try and put together fundraisers, hold fundraisers for kids who have cerebral palsy, microcephaly, work for the Blind Children's Learning Institute. So they seen me, but a lot of people from the company,
Yeah.
they didn't. So that was the thing. But it was really funny, because when I talked to anybody, I was like, do you remember I took a picture of you and Sable together? And he was like, what? That's crazy. That means it was like the law of attraction type thing, because 6
Yeah.
months after I took that picture, he hit me up and he was like, what do you think of First Form? Stuff like that. And so I was already with a company. I'm not going to name no names.
Yeah.
They just left me high and dry. I was already sponsored by another company, but they were just didn't introduce themselves. They didn't do anything. They just sent me stuff and said, here, you're sponsored. And I was in. And I was like, and they're pretty well known.
And First Form does like the whole 9 for you guys. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, First Form. I mean, from what
Yeah.
I've seen,
Yeah.
They're
they take
growing
care of their
company.
athletes.
Well, that's the thing. And I wanted to be a part of that, because I knew, I was like, shoot, I mean, I'm I can learn so much. I know nothing. Like my whole ego's off to the side, and I know I can grow with this company. I know everybody on that team, everybody that works for that company can teach me something. I never ever felt like I was above anybody, and the following count on my social media, that doesn't matter to me at all, because I just was like, what am I doing in real life? Am I a good person, or am I working towards it? Like, how am I making an impact there? And I knew being on that team, I can grow tremendously. So it was crazy how everything worked out when I did meet Andy. And I even before that, I was already telling somebody, like trying to manifest it of being on First Forum, and people are like, oh, you know, you got to be shitting me, you're not going to do anything, like you're never ever going to make it on
That's
there.
so people are such
Oh yeah,
assholes.
it was real bad too. It was like when I got announced athlete, a couple of the people who weren't associated with the company, they were like, oh, you have to be something special if they announce you as athlete. And I went,
Not like, hey girl, good job.
no, no. And right then and
It's
there,
that undercover shade you gotta
yeah,
you gotta pay
and
special
the
attention
silence
to.
was just like so loud for me, where I was just like, oh shit, people really don't want me on here.
So what attracted you to First Forum? Like out of all the companies,
It was their core values, honestly, and what they stood for, and how much education they were pushing behind making sure like you can educate your people, your client, or yourself about the products. And
It's not like, here's my discount code and
no,
yeah, like
no, they
actually
make you go through a lot, in which some stuff I can't talk about
Yeah.
for contract purposes,
Right.
but like they put us through so much stuff behind the scenes. Like I know I'm getting flying out there and stuff like that, but behind the scenes there's so much more work that needs to
Yeah,
be done.
for sure.
Constantly studying about the products. You have to be up to date. You have to make sure you know every single thing. Hosting certain events and different things like that. Making sure you have your Facebook group that tailors everything. You have to learn the apps inside and out. Like they make sure you're knowledgeable about everything.
I mean that makes sense. I feel
Yeah.
like but there was a person that I know that was sponsored by a company, and I was actually say, hey, how's this pre-workout? Like what's in it?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
That's
Hey,
bad.
but if you buy it, use my code. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, see, we're not in the inner workings of how this works. So for
Yeah.
me, I always thought like, oh, you're a pretty girl, you're in shape, so let's stick you with a bottle of protein. And but when I see, I mean, knowing you now personally, like Stormi's like, hey, I got to fly out today. Hey, I got to fly tomorrow. Hey, I won't be here for these weeks because I'm shooting with First Form. To me, I'm like, wow, they're really doing a lot.
And I'm truly thankful. Every time it's like nothing where, oh, I'm used to this. Every time I'm like, oh shit, they want me out there. And I signed up with First Form 2017, became an athlete 2018. And every single time I'm so fucking thankful. We're in 2022. I'm like, oh shit, they want me back out there. And it's never ever something I want to get used to, because I feel like their company's growing so much.
Yeah.
They're adding on so many incredible new athletes. And it's like, enjoy this while you still can, because you just never know when your last day is, or like things like that. I'm constantly putting in the work and making sure that things happen, but you just never know. Things can change, people can change, a whole wave of something can happen. But I'm very honored and thankful. And I don't know what keeps bringing what they want me to do out there as far as bringing me constantly, but I'm thankful because they use me for every single thing I feel.
Well, I think it's probably the work ethic that you have behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's people that go there, I'm fit. I'm like, you should want me. But like, not only are you fit, you have a good look, but you show up to work. You
Yeah.
don't show up just like, okay, I'm here. Like,
Yeah, because
I'm
some
sure-
people feel entitled, and I'm like, how you feel entitled? I still don't feel entitled. I'm like, don't get me wrong, I paid my dues, I'm still paying them, but I still have a lot to learn. So that's my mindset, my perspective. Nothing's owed to me. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Ooh, I love
That's
that.
how
Who
I
do you,
feel.
who do you think First Form athlete right now that was there prior to, like, who's still there? Who is like your First Form athlete that you like look up to and you want to be like, or not like, but like,
Man, there's quite a few people on that team that's like OG. So like Real World Tactical, Tony Santamanta.
Oh, he's on that?
been there
Okay.
for like at least 10, 11 years.
Oh, wow.
With First Forum. Yeah. Yeah, so him, Mike Cunahan, he's also the NYPD police officer. I think he just retired too. So everybody's been there for such a long time, where I'm just like, oh shit, like they put in their work, they're paying their dues, but they're on a whole nother category. And there's quite a few women in there that I do respect, like Emily Hayden. She's very well versed. She's a great athlete, but also she knows how to talk to people. So like, I think everybody serves a purpose that's on that team in a different way, where we're able to speak to people. We know how to present ourselves. It's just not just fitness, but we have our own thing going on. And I think that's what they look for, as far as making sure they bring on athletes, elite athletes, and different things like that.
Right, but if you, I mean, and especially, I would expect nothing less from Andy Frisella. I mean,
Dude.
company. if you, I'm a big fan of his podcast. So
Yeah.
for me, I listen like every morning. I'll put his podcast on.
And he's like that in real
That's
life
what
too.
I was gonna
I was
ask
just
you.
about to say, before any event, like sometimes he'll lecture us, he'll like check our asses and nothing nice. He like, it's not about you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So straight the fuck up.
But
Like
that's the way. I
and
mean,
I'm
I
like,
love it
hey,
though. That's
and,
what he
and
is.
that's why his company is successful the way it is today. And not only him, but his brother Sal and Chris Klein, all these men behind everything, they don't accept anything less. They only accept the best. And if you can't give that and you're not willing to work hard, you're out. I've seen people who are like, fuck this company. I don't want to do all this. This is unnecessary. And don't get me wrong, it's like everybody has they're all entitled to whatever they want, but I know for a fact I get better. Personally, that's why I stay. For other people, they're like, I don't want no part of this. This is too much. You guys go too hard, or you guys have certain views that I don't agree with. You know what I mean? And people drop off. But I'm like, I'm getting better. I'm getting challenged. My personal views are getting challenged, but I'm learning something new. I can agree to disagree with some great people, but we're having great conversations. And so I think for me, it goes beyond obviously the supplement company, but it's like creating and building unique bridges and relationships with people, and then being able to do business with them, but also creating that friendship. I would have never thought I would have with a lot of different people, especially from the Midwest. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I mean,
Like,
I know we kind of talked about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
We had discussions, and I think what you
Yeah.
said, man, that's such a strong statement. Like, you know, you're very open to other people's point of views on things,
Right.
And I think I'm not going to get super political, but I think a lot of the issues that do happen is because everyone's so married to that one idea, and you don't know people's life. You know, I don't know what people's life is in the Midwest. I don't know what people's life is in another state.
Yeah.
So we can only go off of what our experience is, and I feel like people judge someone just solely based off who they vote for. You know, what artists they listen to music wise, and when
Yeah.
there's so much more. And I like the fact that you, and even when I talk to you about it, you take the time to get to know the person, and then you make that judgment off of that, because people have awesome stories.
Yeah.
And until you really know what they went through, like, you know, you see some people that were addicted to drugs, and it's like, you could be like, oh, you're in prison too. I know some really good people that went to prison.
Yeah.
And at any one point, I feel like during my childhood, there's a lot of things we did as kids, because I grew up in Almani, and there's a lot of gangs around us, a lot of stuff, and I just never got caught.
Yeah, and it's that could have been you.
You know, honestly,
Yeah,
like
that could have been you.
we talk sometimes. I'm like, there's some things we did. I'm like, we just never got caught, or we got away. But if we would have got caught, it would have been different. So, you know,
Yeah.
I could care less about what your religious beliefs are, what
Yeah.
your political beliefs are, as long as you're able to have a conversation. And you know, with the first
yeah.
form, you were telling me about that.
And that was another thing. I wanted to be challenged. Being on First Form definitely challenged me. I know a lot of my friends in the fitness industry. I want to be with people who look like me and do the same thing as me. I'm not going to grow like that. I already know. Being with First Form challenged me in every single way. Challenged my beliefs, challenged my views, and I've even taught some people. You know, like it goes all full circle in a sense. And so I love being there because I learn something new every time I go out there. I gain something, or someone gains something from me, or they learn something from me. It's never an ending story. And someone is always willing to teach you something. They don't even care about how you look, your views. They're just sharing how they feel. It's up to you to get offended or not. And for me, I was able to grow thicker skin and understand people, and not take things for face value, like we always say, and just be able to listen to them like, you know, I see where you're coming from. I learned something from you. I respectfully disagree, and we're cool. I would have never been able to do that out here, or like with my friends that I normally have in the same circle. Like, you either with us or against us type stuff. I'm not with all that.
I remember you even telling me, for those of you guys that know, you lived in Sweden for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I remember a conversation I had with you. You were telling me that in Sweden, it's totally different than it is here. And,
Oh, yeah.
And some people judge you just on the way you look here. Where over there, it's all included. Like, everyone's just included. It doesn't matter. And I thought that was awesome. But it's just so interesting how here in the States, you have to pick a side. Right? Like, you have to be on this team.
Yeah.
You have to be on this team. And even with sports, it's like, it still blows my mind that people still get in fights at a game when it's like, you're not getting a paycheck from either
You are
side.
not on the
Exactly.
team.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And there's so many, it's just, I see it all the
blows my
time.
mind too, because like I didn't grow up like that. Like, I grew up in a very cultural diverse home, and so like when all those things broke out about, you know, having to pick a side and do this, I just couldn't relate. You know, and I think that's why being with First Forum too, I was able to teach them a lot, because I came from a cultural diverse background where I'm able to teach them about every single thing. And in a household, it's technically a Swedish household, household and Southern household, especially, having to work through all those unique instances where it's very difficult in the household, but being able to understand that and bring it out here, I felt like nothing's worth our time and being divided over our culture. It's so stupid. You know what I mean? We need to be able to unite and be able to figure it out somewhere along the lines. And I mean, we all are unethical at some point, but we just have to be willing to learn. We have to be willing to, hey, I'm having a human experience, but I'm willing to listen to you and try and grow from that. And if I can't grow from it, well, I respectfully disagree with you, but you're still my friend.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And everybody's, I mean, love learning about different people's cultures.
Yep.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's awesome. And I know you posted, you had a grandfather that passed. And I remember I saw that picture, and it's a 6'4", 6'5" white guy. You're like, how is this here? But it's so
Yeah.
it's so cool that you. To me, I feel like, because I'm half Chinese, half Mexican, and I grew up on both sides, so I had the
Right.
Mexican food, the Chinese food. But it's just crazy how, like, someone doesn't just want to immerse himself in other people's culture. You don't have to agree with everything.
No, yeah.
But like, from the food, the way they treat their family, even when we go to when I go out with my Asian side, you can't be late. Like, that's disrespectful. When you go out with the Asian side, they fight over who pays. It's more of a respect thing. So you want to be the person to pay, because it means that you're doing well in life, right? So like, my aunt is the older one, so she always ends up paying, and it's like a game.
Yeah.
Right. So she'll call no joke, she'll call the restaurant, we'll go out for dim sum, and she'll say, this is the card I want on file. But she'll let us kind of play, like, thinking we're gonna pay. And then my oldest cousin, because he has a really good job, he'll be like, I'll pay. It's almost like a badge of honor, like, I can pay for the whole family.
Yeah.
Where the Mexican side,
We're like, hey, so you got
right, it's like
margarita, I
splitting,
got
right?
the-
And I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just
Yeah.
it's
No,
a,
but
it's a
it's true.
cultural
It's just
thing,
family. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like, I've never seen my dad get checked before by anybody other than my aunt. Like, we got to be there on time. Oh, did you say hi to your aunt? Because in Asian culture, it's respect is everything, right? It has its faults. I mean, I think I've talked to Stormi about stuff my mom has told me when my mom was dating my dad. My dad's from Hong Kong, my mom's from Mexico. They didn't really accept her because she wasn't Asian. And so that's why I tell people, there's so many different stories that we could learn and grow from just our parents' past. Like, we don't have to say, oh, because they did this, I do this.
No, you don't have to repeat that cycle.
No, not at all. And I mean,
definitely.
not getting into it too crazy, but my mom had a hard time getting into the Asian side just because she was Mexican.
Yeah.
And they would like kick her out of the house. They would shun her from different events. And it wasn't until they had, my sister, my brother, and I, that they were like, okay,
Yeah, that was my mom and my dad. My dad's from Colombia, born and raised over there, came here when he was 16. And my mom, I mean, yeah, Mexican household, but Mexican Irish, like all mutt. But they just see white girl doesn't speak Spanish, and now you want to bring her into this Colombian loud,
Yeah.
opinionated side. So
Right.
it's just crazy. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you come from, like what country. It's like everyone is opinionated, and they feel in their heart they're the best.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sable and I, oh my gosh, like 12 years of us being together, and the whole time it's always been his dad, like, oh, if y'all have kids, your kids are gonna come out super dark.
Right, so-
I'm like,
so-
bro, we the same color. Like, you gotta stop tripping out.
So real quick. So, I mean, again, you don't really post them on Instagram. So
No.
tell everybody who Sable is, explain to them the situation. So there's like the background story.
Oh yeah, Sable is my fiance, soon to be husband. We've been together 12 years, and we don't post each other on Instagram at all. He firmly believes that it should just be about me, my business, or whatever I'm posting. And on his Instagram, he doesn't post me at all, except on the stories. Like, I'll give him a shout out on my stories here and there, but it's just like us having our own individuality versus it being united. Even though that's not a bad thing, it's just we choose to make sure we have our own lives, and he's comfortable with that. He definitely sees all the DMs. He sees everything. I talk to him about everything, so it's like,
Well, he shows like he's secure.
oh,
with
he's
your
100%.
Oh, he's super secure. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And those of you guys don't. I mean, obviously, he's Asian, so he's full.
He's from Taiwan,
He's from
yeah.
Taiwan. So to put it in context, that's what she means when his dad, right? His
Yeah,
dad was saying
very
that.
traditional.
Very traditional, and it's very similar to like my mom's side,
Yeah.
or my mom's story with my dad is they're like, oh, they're not gonna have, the biggest thing for them too is, are they gonna have Asian eyes? That's a big thing. That's a huge thing. I remember even my dad once said like, oh, my brother married Cambodian. So he's like, oh, they're for sure gonna have Asian eyes. And I'm like, so what if Felicia and I have kids?
People are so wild.
No, but the thing is,
dude.
my dad is the furthest removed from being racist, but it's just, there's so much there's so many
Yeah.
things that are just embedded in him.
Yeah, physical appearance is everything.
Is everything.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
you look, how you act, everything. And it's so wild.
Yeah,
'Cause I
that-
sat down with Sable's dad. He was just like looking at me, looking at my jawbone, like just like analytically trying to put me in a statistic of what's going to happen. And I'm like, you don't even know me. Like,
Right.
how dare you? But
Yeah.
like, that's how they are. So I understand what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I love all, I love my Asian side, my Mexican side, and I feel like with the Mexican side, like they're more inclusive. I just how I feel. This is my side of the family.
Interesting.
I feel like my mom couldn't care who I brought home,
Yeah.
but my mom is a different breed of person. She's a very into crystals, into holistic healing.
We didn't have your mom on the podcast.
My mom is very
I
much.
think I'll vibe with your mom.
Yeah, oh my God. My mom is very much into medical marijuana.
Yeah.
So my
Bring
mom.
her. I want to talk to her now.
Oh,
It's up
Stormi,
my alley.
you'll meet my mom, and you'll probably never leave her house because you guys just both be there
Yeah,
smoking
for
with
sure.
crystals.
Oh man.
But like when we grew up, my mom always like, you love and respect everybody. Like it didn't matter. It's funny because I didn't even really understand race until I got to like 8th grade. And I have pictures of myself playing with like a group of black kids, and I never thought, oh, these are black kids or these are white kids. It was just
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah,
And
these
it
are
wasn't
friends.
until the other kids would be like, oh yeah, the Mexican kids sit over here. Even as early as 8th grade, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know. And I never really had a spot because I was
Yeah.
both. So I grew up in Amani, so I stayed more to the Mexican side, but I was like, this is so stupid, because I grew up with both sides, but I love both sides, but at the same time, there is some stigma on both sides.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like even hearing your story and the more podcasts we do, and as much as you want to share, we can go into that, but just breaking the cycle is a hard thing.
Yeah.
But I love that you're so willing to stand by that, to break that cycle. And you guys are going to have the cutest fucking
Oh,
kids
100%.
So
ever.
excited for that.
Oh my
For
God.
sure.
Swedish, Taiwanese, black, Creole,
Yeah.
right? Oh,
Yeah, my mom basically she's Creole, and we're all from like New Orleans. I was born in Houston, so we just kind of all mixed up with different cultures on my mom's side, and then on my dad's side, I grew up in a Swedish household, and then with Sable, he has his tradition, so I'm gonna teach my kids Swedish, and
Oh
then
my
he's gonna
God.
teach them Mandarin Chinese. So,
oh,
my
and he's a big dude too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So those kids are going to be athletes.
oh, yeah.
Pop out like an athlete.
One athlete right
Pop
there.
out doing burpees.
Watch.
For sure.
No, it's always interesting to hear people's stories, and as much as they want to share, obviously, like when we have our guests, we always tell them as much as you want to share with the audience, but
Yeah.
the whole point of this is for you guys to get to know us better.
Yep.
Well, I also want to add to your point. Another big reason why we decided not to share each other on Instagram too is because on the back end of things, the things that we're facing with his family, it is draining. Like to do that for a decade and to have to deal with that, like his dad, not to even put him underneath the bus like that, but it's just culture. Not to say that he's bad. He was setting him up in arranged marriages as we're dating, as we're trying to plan our future, and still to this day. And like no disrespect to him, he's always like, I hope you're not with that black girl. You need to be with either a Chinese woman or a European woman because of
The fair-
features,
yeah, the
all
fair
kind
skin.
of things like that. And I would always tell Sabe because he would just get so angry, and I'm like, this your dad. You have to accept your dad for what it is and who he is, but it's up to you to break that cycle. And you can't put things past people. He's a very traditional guy, and that's just that. Don't get mad at your dad just being your dad. And so we were able to work through that, but his dad still is persistent with it, or he'll come home frustrated, like, dude, I can't handle my dad doing this. I said he's doing what he knows best. And
That's exactly what it is.
and that's it at the end of the day, because how I see it as an outsider, I can easily get mad. I can easily lose energy over that, but I choose not to let that steal my energy because it's not worth my time. I'm beating a dead horse. What am I going to do? Except to show him how I can keep showing up and being respectful. Like there's been times where his dad has disrespected me on purpose to try and hurt me, but I don't roll like that.
Yeah.
You can say whatever and it just won't get underneath my skin. You really have to do something to shake me to my core. And so like when he kept saying all those things, I'm like, you're just a little pipsqueak, like in my head, like
Yeah.
you ain't gonna do nothing. You're just all bark and
Yeah.
no bite. So like, I'll let you have that. And that's what it is. But I know better. If I can show your son the better love and whatever that he needs, then that's what I'm going to do. So behind the scenes of all that, we've been working incessantly on making sure that our relationship is solid and unshakable, because bringing that to social media, I feel like everybody tears it down. It's not to say that we're insecure. It's like, this is something that we cherish. We work extremely hard for. There's been times where, we had to work through hard times, but who hasn't, in
Right.
our relationship. So just being at different cultures and having to just just truly break through our social norms and barriers and understanding each other and truly loving each other past all these other stigmas and prejudice that we do have. He says a lot of stuff, and like it's from his culture and how they brought up, however they saw, you know, African Americans on TV and different things like that. And I had to reteach him, or like saying certain phrases like, "Oh, you're pretty for a black girl." His whole family say that, and I would have to correct them, but they didn't know any better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would have like, "No, you don't say that. You just say I'm beautiful, and that's it. Keep it at that. You don't have to add in the culture because it's very offensive." And then they're like, it's like you saying that this person's ugly, like with their culture.
Like
And then,
normally they're ugly,
Yeah.
but you are the outlier.
and then say will be like, but it's like saying the same thing for Chinese people. Chinese people are ugly as fuck. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, don't say that. I'm like, you gotta like erase that. That's where it starts with us. We have to break this barrier. So behind the scenes of that, it's like a lot of hard work where I'm like, you know, we want to respect each other and our privacy and just get better at it, because anybody can throw their relationship up there. Next week they'd be broken up and like
Oh,
move
you
on
see
to
that
the next
all the
person.
time.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is like woman number 16 or
like-
whatever it is.
I'm
you know
like,
what I mean?
bro, take that off the story. It's too
No,
late.
for real.
It's too late. But I love that because you're, and I wish everybody was, and it's hard. It's not
It's
easy what you do,
seriously hard.
but you're trying to prove them wrong instead of proving them right.
Exactly.
And
Without fighting back.
Yeah,
without,
because
yeah.
I can easily do that.
Oh, you
easily
could be the
scream.
person that he thinks you are, the villain you are.
Yeah, because his dad said something. I'm not going to repeat it before, but like I've never had someone call me that in front of my face. And he told me to get the F out of his house. And I got up respectfully and I just like packed it. I said bye to his family and all that stuff. And Sable's like, why do you curse my dad out? I said, because that's what your dad wants me to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying all these things to get a rise out of me. I'm not going to return that.
Yeah.
I can't do that because like I'm a better person than that. He's like, no, you're soft. I was like, I see where you're coming from. I need to like defend myself. I said long term, it's going to be better this way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
there's a time and a place, and when
Yeah.
someone's that mad about something, sometimes at that moment it's better just to remove yourself in a respectful way
Yeah.
than
And
to
not you react off the
Exactly.
emotion.
not to
Exactly.
react off emotion, especially if
the
that's
best
going to be
thing.
your husband.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
my mom used to say, you marry whoever you marry the family.
Yep.
Well,
That's always stuck with me. So like if there's someone you're marrying and they have that crazy uncle, that's your uncle now.
Yeah.
Or if they have that wild cousin, that is now your cousin that you
100%.
should defend to the end, which I agree and disagree with, but at the same
Oh,
time,
there's yeah.
but at the
some
same time,
boundaries
that's
right
marriage.
there. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
marriage, right? You it's a give and take. Do you feel like things are going to be different between you guys once you guys are married, or do you kind of feel?
oh yeah. Yeah.
How
Like,
so?
just having to mesh cultures. I'm really understanding how important his culture is to him now that we're taking this step, because he wants to honor certain things in his lineage. It's really honoring him and bringing him on board and just like showing him off a little bit more, bringing him when I fly out to First Forum. I want everybody to meet him. Only a few people that I truly respect, they've met him before, but it's also having him feel more included, because I have expressed that to him. He's like, no, I want you to have your own thing. I said, yeah, but now you're a part of me too, and we're taking this serious. So, you know, I want you to at least just show up to one thing, because he's never showed up to any event out of respect for me, because he wants it to be about me. But I'm like, I want you to feel included. And now like he's on his weight loss journey and stuff
That's
like
good.
that. Thank you. Like he's straight killing it, but like now he's getting all
Last
kind
week
of
he was just
attention.
smelling the Portos.
Yeah.
Let me smell it.
man.
Then I'm gonna walk
It
away.
was crazy because now he's getting all these looks from all kind of women and stuff like that, or women are trying to get at him. So I would say like that's the only thing that's been changing for us, is where like more women are going after him in that sense, us meshing our cultures together, which I ain't mad at. Like I gotta watch him and let him do his own thing, because it's like it's cool to watch.
Yeah.
But I don't want us to lose our own individuality, because we are like our own selves. That's why people never like, oh, I never knew. He would always go to his other friends, I never knew you had a girl like that, or you know, you never show her. And he was like, no, we just, you know, the important people know.
Yeah.
Like you guys, like immediately I told you guys, but everybody else I feel like is completely irrelevant.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
I feel like they're just asking just to be nosy. But otherwise, like I think the dynamic between us is definitely changing. I'm trying to relinquish some of my control.
Yeah.
That stuff is hard for me.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes from an Asian background, so it's very, even my mom with my dad, it's very male dominant in the sense where the males make the decision.
Yeah.
What they say
I'm
goes.
still the boss.
Okay, well, that answered any and all questions I had.
Never gonna change.
I mean, relationships are hard in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then when you throw into your occupation fitness, where you're around, especially you, you're around the top tier athletes, you're
Yeah.
around the most beautiful people in the world. And we talk about you guys, we have these conversations all the time off the air. So like for us, we've seen owning gyms that you come into it with a relationship, and usually that lasts a month to 2 months
yes, I've been dying to ask
because
y'all
of
this.
insecurities.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so like we had a guest on prior, and they were saying kind of similar to like, oh, I see you comment on girls' post, and you do the fire, you do the, you know, the hearts and stuff like that. I did that for guys too.
Yeah.
And for me, like, I use Instagram as a business, so I want to hype up my girls, I want to hype up my guys, but my wife understands that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She understands the business.
Yeah,
part
she
of it.
understands the business. Obviously, I'm not like dropping down and like taking a picture with a girl's booty kind of thing. Like there's limits to what I do, but for the most part, the industry we're in is very highly sexualized.
Oh, 100%.
So I understand everybody's perspective. Like, I understand your guys, you know, there's even sometimes like your husband Gil is really good. He just doesn't care though.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen him
But you
at
guys have like secure partners.
Yeah.
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 But I mean,
Same.
even the most secure partner, there is times, you know, where you'll be like, hey, well, who is that? You know, there's been a couple times where my wife was like, hey, who is this? Or why did you, I never met this person. And really it's more along the lines of, we have gatherings at the gym because I want everyone's spouse or significant other to meet, because I think the person they portray on Instagram isn't the real person they are all the time. So, if you,
That's a really good point.
right? Like you'll see someone and they'll show a lot of for their business, they'll show a lot of their workouts and maybe they're in booty shorts. So as someone on the outside looking in, you're like, oh, is that all you're about? Is your body? But that the body's making the money. And then when you sit and you meet with them, you're like, oh, dude, you're really smart. Smart person. You know, you got a lot to say other than just showing your body. But you don't get that unless you meet them.
Yep.
So like for
Did you think that with me?
no, because you know, your IG is more like a badass. When I see your
She
IG,
looks more like an athlete.
you look
too.
more like an athlete.
An athlete.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen, maybe like 1 or 2 pictures, but I never seen you do like a full ass shot coming out of the pool.
There's
you know,
some people that every single photo
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
their grid is an ass shot.
like you don't, your Instagram doesn't give me those vibes. Your Instagram gives me like, oh, she's a badass. Like you're an athlete. So I never thought that. I just thought you were very
Quiet.
strong-willed. No, I thought you were very like you were. I don't want to say conceited. I don't even know what the word is. It's just I knew that in order to really break
I feel
down
like
the
you're
barrier.
sure of yourself. Like you know what
That's a
you
good one.
want, and like you're not gonna waver.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was hoping, and it came true, that once we broke that ice and we kind of talked, I feel like at the Corona grand opening, we had more time to really
Yeah.
talk. And then I was like, oh, I called Marissa. I go, dude, Stormi's really chill. Like,
Yeah.
I like her. Like, she's actually talked to me and stuff like that. But I feel like that's your safety mechanism.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just not gonna let everyone in where
Like I'm gonna keep you at arm's distance.
Where I'm
just
like-
in case.
come in.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the thing, like, even for me, because the culture, right? The Mexican side, I hug everybody when I
Yes.
meet them.
Yeah.
And some people are like, oh, well, you know, I'm
I
like,
don't
oh, I'm
always
sorry.
say, I'm a hugger. Can I
Yeah,
hug
I'm a
you?
hugger. Like,
Yeah.
I just, if I meet you and like your family, if your family was to come in and they're, you know, they're your family, I'll go give them a hug. We just went to a show this past weekend, and I met
Oh my God.
Nicole's mom, and she like stuck her hand out. I said, do you mind if I hug you? Like, I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like the barriers and making sure like you know what you can and cannot do. And I feel like with you guys, just the little bit I've seen of your relationship, he lets you do
Your thing.
your
yeah.
thing, do your
And
business.
same thing with him. Like I let him have free range because you don't want to lose yourself in your relationship, and I do trust him immensely, and he trusts me. So I think that goes a long way, and that's probably what's going to save us through this next chapter.
No, you got to go through the chapters.
Yeah.
You got to go through the chapters, you guys. And
The levels.
Yeah,
Man.
I think people that are like married right now with kids, they understand like there's so many different layers to relationships.
Right.
You know, I feel like you first fall in love with someone out of lust, right? You see them, you lust over them. Then it's like the sexual attraction, and then you do all that, and then you really, from a guy's point of view, then you break it down to like, okay, could I hang out with this person?
Yeah.
And then for guys, especially, I would say for myself, it's like, for me, can I bring this person home to my mom? Like, is this a relationship style? And then some girls don't make the cut, and some girls are just a fun time. Some guys are probably just good eye candy, but I think you have to understand what you want for the future. And all of us, I mean, you're engaged, you're married, I'm married, but I think you don't hit that till you're, I want to say 25. Would you agree? No.
Yeah, because even when I first started dating Gail, we were party. We got it with each other.
You guys met partying.
Pure attraction.
Pure
like,
attraction,
hey,
right?
You're hot. Like I'm single. You're single. We just got our relationships. Like we're gonna have fun with this.
Yeah.
And then it just ended up you know, growing into something more. But like literally me and Gail were attracted to each other. We're gonna have fun, we're gonna party, live our best lives, and
Level 1.
yeah, level 1.
Now you guys are on level. Well, you guys are on level 3. You have a
Yeah,
kid.
now we're on level 3. But even I think with finding your partner though, the biggest thing is being okay in silence. I feel sometimes when you meet somebody, you're like constantly like, oh, what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? But I feel like the moment that you're okay just being with somebody and not having to entertain, and you can just be in the presence of somebody, that's when I like personally, that's when I'm like, I don't have to think the funk. Like we're just being,
I love
you
that.
know?
Yeah.
And that's when I feel that's the level up in, you know, 22-year-old Marissa. And then when, you know, figuring out and finding out that's your person, that's like what, 26, 27?
Yeah, I want to have this podcast in a couple of years when baby's born and
And
you're
there's
married.
no silence.
And then there's no silence, and then we'll kind of go into it.
Everything's gonna change.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to listen back to these, like, because I mean, I feel really good about what we're doing, and we're getting good response. So I feel like this is gonna be something that we'll be doing for a while, you know. So I'm excited to look back and talk about your wedding and talk
Yeah.
about your woes with the baby, you know. And I'm just gonna sit back and be like, I told y'all it wasn't as. I mean, not to say that you guys think it's easy, but I feel like you guys are both in a good spot where you understand what you're getting yourself into, you know, and your spouses do too. Like you understand juggling a baby, a podcast, a gym, a potentially second gym
Yeah.
isn't something that's going to be easy. You understand traveling, you know, marriage, then potentially having a kid.
Yeah.
You know, have you thought that far ahead? Because for you, a lot of things change if you have a kid.
Oh yeah.
Meaning this is where you make your money. And I always wonder that with women, even you see some like women UFC fighters that take a year or two off because they have kids, because obviously their body's what they need. For you, have you guys had that conversation of like when you guys think you'd be ready to take that next step in having kids, or is that something
Yeah,
that's
that's when the OnlyFans gonna come in.
oh yeah, see,
All the feet pics will
All
be
the
up.
pics. I'm just kidding.
swollen feet because she's pregnant, so it's all
I'm just playing, but yeah, no. There's other ways where I do make my money, and I do have another part-time job and everything like that. So I'm not worried at all. And I feel like people are going to eat it up once I'm pregnant.
I
and
think so.
still,
Oh, yeah.
still keep going with working out. There's a whole nother market for moms
Yes.
and fit moms and
Yes.
different things like that. So I think my journey will only grow. It will
Yeah,
only
it just-
get
I love
better.
that.
You're not like you're gonna evolve with whatever happens
Exactly.
to you.
And so for me, I love a challenge. Just like you know, like I love the fact that there's a challenge that's going to push me to become better. And I feel like becoming a mom is only going to amplify who I am, and it's going to add more value. And just like, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to grow so much from it, and I can't wait for that.
no, I'm excited. I want to see how beautiful those kids are.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah. So I mean, we're all going through, and what we want you guys to understand is like we're human as well. We go through all these crazy journeys outside of what you see on social media. You know, with myself, Marissa, and Stormi, you know, I get all the oh my God, you're such a great dad. A lot of my stuff my wife does. I just happen to capture the best of the day.
Yeah.
So we go through a lot of stuff, and we want to be open books because I feel like this is the best way that we can have other people that maybe look at our lives and think, oh, it's perfect. We all go through the same struggles. I know some of the fittest, most beautiful people that go through so many insecurities.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't see it on Instagram. But trust me, when you meet them, you see it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think we all have our insecurities. But I think the name of the game in the podcast is we want to be authentic as possible.
Yes.
We want to show you guys our lives as much as we want to share. For me, a lot of you guys have followed me since my wife was pregnant. So I continue to show you guys the journey because I want you guys to be along with it because it's not done. We still got a lot of growing to do. I know Stormi is getting married
Yes.
this year.
Exciting.
Marissa's having a baby this year.
Yep.
We may add another potential gym to our roster. We're excited to continue to grow our teams in Chino Hills and West Covina, and we just want to bring you guys along on the journey. So we definitely want to have more of these.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know, next time we'll have a Q&A. We do have a lot of them, but we just thought, you know, let's just sit down and talk.
Just
Yeah.
talk. I think this
Yeah.
is great for us because none of us are one dimensional, and there's a lot more to me. So I think like the next episode we'll like dive into that and dive into you and everything that we got coming up.
It's just I
you
love
know?
these casual. This just feels
Yeah.
like casual conversation.
Yes.
This is work.
This is
I'm
what-
blessed.
This is a great Friday.
I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, like I don't have, my work is dropping my daughter off, coming here, chilling with you guys, talking, taking care of some gym stuff. So no bad days. No bad days for me.
Yep.
No, we're good.
But yeah, you guys, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, like Stormi said, I think she summed it up the best. if you guys like what we're saying, if you guys like the podcast, just share it with a friend.
Yep.
Maybe not this episode. We didn't try to drop too much value. We just wanted,
We just want
you know, I think what will we title this one, Ethan? Feet, marriage, and
and Stormi's DM.
and stories, DMs. We'll come up with something, but you guys, we just want you guys to get to know us, and I think this setting is great. We're gonna have more of these.
Yeah, definitely.
But we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Continue to share us. Until next time.
Bye. Thank you.